Okay, to continue, um, see what I'm doing, guys, is I'm just putting raw footage out there. I don't really have I don't know I don't really know how to edit and do all that. I'm just kind of taking videos of stuff on the fly and talking about it. So that's why you might, I say a lot because I'm trying to think of what I'm going to say next. But I'm just doing these quick videos. I mean, I'm not trying to monetize anything. I'm just putting this information out there that I have and trying to get more from, feedback from you guys. So, feel free to leave comments. If I'm wrong about something, I just want everything to be accurate and for people to be able to get information that they're looking for. Because like that's kind of why I started doing this is I go out there and try and find stuff, and there's just not any videos or a lot of information on some of this stuff. So that's kind of my goal here is to get have the videos out there so people can watch and take a peek at some of this stuff that they might not have, or if they do, just maybe I have a bit of information they don't, and hopefully they have a bunch of information I don't, and we can just kind of share that and just kind of learn a little bit more about these things that I don't know. I don't know. I really enjoy collecting these old amps, and this made in the USA gear is something that I really like, especially when you hook it up and listen to it. I mean, they're doing amazing things with amp technology today, but it's just not the same, and it sounds different. I mean, maybe you enjoy that sound better. I just prefer this old AB, monster surfboard amp sound, and I have a lot of fun hooking it up and messing around with it. So here we are on the end of this 425 HCCA. Um, it's a this has got to be a fairly old one. I want to say late 80s at the latest. Um, I picked it up about a year ago, and you can see on this. This is what's really interesting to me. You can see where it's almost two separate amplifiers. They got two separate DINs, no RCA input. Right here, there's a hole, and I don't know who drilled that in or what that's all about. There's nothing back there to get like a screwdriver to make an adjustment. It's just there. So I don't know who did what to this amp at some time. But you can see there's two power indicators. It's basically it's two 225s, the Gen 1s in one chassis, and two gain controls. I mean, it's just that's how you get the four channels. You have two channel amps in here, two stereo amps in here. And then this is why I know it's not like 86. It's not super early on because it has this extra, like the original ones. That's all that would have been printed on here. This one has that manufactured to meet military quality standards on there, which is the later of the not the latest of the GX, but the not the first run of the GX. They didn't have that. So here it is. We can kind of take a look at this too. Maybe compare it a little bit to um, the 425, and I'm almost suspecting that maybe we noticed, and in the first video I did that the 280 GX and the 425 HCCA were identical on the power supply side. This is completely different. So I'm wondering if the original 280 GX wasn't more like this, and that because that's a later one that doesn't have the moon and stars logo. That's a 280 GX with Orion's updated logo on it. So I was like the last run of the GX, and that might have been updated board design for all I know, because this is completely different. And this one, somebody was in here, and I don't know what they did. It's a little ugly in spots. Like this, I don't know what they had going on here. That's definitely not. There's no way Orion would send something out that looked like that. That comes all the way up front here to the DIN, the board that the DINs are on, and it's just a hot mess up there. You can see where they spliced in a bunch of wires. So I think this whole entire wire, I don't think this thing's original. I think that's somebody's hack job, which is why I want to send this out. I mean, I haven't hooked it up, but I'm going to assume this thing's not in working condition. And I'm going to get the caps replaced and see if they can't, fix this. This right here is another thing I'm 99% sure This is nothing Orion had in here. I'm not even entirely sure what that is, whether that's some sort of resistor or a capacitor. I don't really know, but I think that's attached to the board right smack dab in the middle of the two power supplies. That it's like a mirror image. It doesn't run 1 amp and then the start of another amp. You can see there's a power supply, there's a power supply, and then it continues out this way. And then this one starts here and continues out the other way. And then you can see there's a serial number on the bottom plate, which actually there's two bottom plates to this. It's not one continuous one, and it's serial number 810009. And you can see they scratched into the PCB here. Let's see if I gotta get some light. There it is. 810009. So that's the serial number just scratched into the board. I believe this one says component side on it somewhere, just like all the rest of the Orions do. I can't find it at the moment. I don't know, but you can see this PCB board is not like two separate boards inside of here. It's all on one long PCB board. You know, if it was split, it would be right there. And then if I take it out, you can see the full amp guts of this. And you could see, so here's a 425 digital reference arrow. And you can see the two large capacitors. Now, those are 50 volt, 3300 microfarad. These are 3300 microfarad, but a 16 volt. And they're not Nichicon. It's, I don't know, TI, whatever that is. I've never really seen those. There's another one, but there's only one for each 225 board in here. And then these other capacitors are 25 volt, 1000 microfarad, 4 per power supply. I'm guessing those are the filtering caps. I don't think they're a stiffening cap. I believe that's what the 3300 is, the stiffening. And then these, or I'm sorry, I might have that backwards. One of them is going to be the stiffening, one's going to be the filtering caps. But yeah, so that's the and I believe all these the large ceramic resistors are gate resistors, as what I believe those are. I'm not an electrical engineer, so I only have a rudimentary understanding of amplifiers. I'm really interested to learn more, and there's some decent videos, especially like amp repair videos on YouTube, where you can learn some things that I found pretty interesting, because I'm a big dork and I'm really into this stuff. But yeah, you can see this is where they see now some of these output transistors I think have been replaced, because I'll show you these. Look at how those are soldered in. To me, that's I'll show you the other Orions that I have, and they look way better done than this. So they'd look more like maybe that one right there might be original. Over on this side, possibly a little bit cleaner, but you get in here, look at that one. It's essentially, and I believe that's the gate, and it's pretty much just a bare wire, maybe just barely touching the pad, with almost no solder on it at all. I don't think Orion would let that out the door. Here's an Orion one for sure. I have no doubt that's a factory. That's a well done solder job. But some of these other ones, I have my doubts that that's a factory. Like this side of the power supply, those look more factory. And let's take a look at the solder on the FETs of these later ones, and you can just see the difference. I mean, that's what it should look like. That's that's done well. That's what I'd expect to see in Orion amplifier. I wouldn't expect to see like bare wires just barely hanging on by a thread to the contact pad of the PCB. And this one's even better. I mean, this is gorgeous how they did. I mean, this one, it's almost like a machine did it, but these were handmade. But just the attention to detail on this is way better than what I'm seeing. Even though, and I don't think it has to do with that being an earlier one, because I've seen the gut shots of an early 425 HCCA, and they look just as clean as that. But yeah, I just wanted to do a couple more videos of some of this Orion gear I got. I'm hoping to maybe run these XTRs. I wanted to find another set and run like 4 of them. These are 4 ohm, so I wanted to do like 2 of them to each side of this 425. But this one will require the 400 BDG bridging module to bridge them. But I would like to do 2 off of one side at 2 ohm and 2 off the other side at 2 ohm and run them. But I have had a hard time finding some that look identical to these. And I believe they're really early on. I purchased these in a big lot of equipment I got from a guy. I got this. I got an old linear power model 2602, which is a very odd linear power. It's a bi-amplified. It's a 3 channel. And it's supposed to be like 2 of them for front stage, 2 channels for front stage, 1 channel for subwoofer. And then I also got this 280 GX in that lot of equipment. And he had a whole box. Actually, it came with 2 8-inch Pile Industries pile drivers that just need to be refoamed. I ended up giving those to a guy that I do a lot of business with because he lives down in Indiana, and not far from where they made the stuff, because those were made in the U.S. Not a lot of people collect pile, but since it was close to him and he's seen a lot of pile stuff, he kind of has an affinity for the pile equipment, and collect some of that. And he actually had some later pile subs that he was running to a 500/1, and those were amazing subwoofers. They're carbon fiber, and I'm trying to think of the model number of what they were called, but they were actually extremely sweet. I think maybe Pile was trying to make a good sub to save their name because they were later on. They were later run, but I mean, by that time, their name was absolutely destroyed. They were just a junk brand, flea market brand. But those subs are not flea market subs. They were, like I said, carbon fiber cone, carbon fiber dust cap, massive motor assembly. In fact, I believe the motor assembly on that was identical to. I'm trying to think which series of Soundstream. They had a massive cast aluminum basket with just a huge motor on them for the time, but they were identical, and which was pretty amazing. They were amazing sounding subs, and they absolutely slammed. It was a pretty neat deal. I would like to go down there and film some of his stuff. His collection puts mine to shame. He has an amazing early. He has pretty much. I think he has every art class amp that was out. He has a couple PPI 2300. I think he's got a 2300M, 2300 AM. He has a Lanzar 50C, brand new in the box. He's got a lot of amazing equipment that I'd like to get video of and put up, and he's very knowledgeable about his equipment. and I'd like him to talk about some of the stuff he's got because it's one heck of a collection. But anyway, back to I guess the stuff I have here at hand, and this just another look at the amp guts on these. It's hard to get this one all in and be close enough to see any detail. It's a fairly long amplifier. And another one of the 425 and the 280GX. All right, so if you guys could leave comments, maybe if you have any information on these. That one interesting thing too, that if you could, these Orions on the back, I'll pull one out of the box. I'll do a video real soon on that. They're listed at 800 watts RMS. It says on the back. There is no way you could put 800 watts to this sub. I mean, I wouldn't even burp it at 800 watts. There's just no way. So in max rating, I wouldn't even put that to it. I don't think I'd put more than 250 to these. It's just there. I don't know. When I pull it out, you'll see it. There's the voice. I believe it's only a 2-inch voice coil. I think you'd melt that voice coil almost immediately doing that. So that's kind of interesting that Orion was a little ambitious on that. I know that some of their early XTR subs came with a lifetime guarantee. So you blew the thing, you took it back, you got a brand new one. So if you're going to do that, why would you put 800 watts RMS on there? You're going to lose some money there. If people are really like, look, I put 600 watts, I'm 200 watts under on these subs. So obviously it's defective. It's like 600 watts would destroy the sub. They sound really nice. I put a 300 watts to them. And actually, I didn't, because I hooked them up stereo, because it would have presented a 2 ohm load to bridge it to the 2150. So I put them in stereo. So these were seeing 150 watts, and I wouldn't say they had a lot more in them past that. So that's the Orion, what I believe to be the very original first run of the XTR. They're kind of sweet. They have a nice patina to them. Being as old as they are, I'm gonna guess these are very early 90s. I want to think that they are maybe purchased at the same time as this 280GX. And that would be my suspicion. And so that would put, and it has the newer logo, so that would put it at probably around 91, 92. I think would be the latest they had a GX series running. So anyway, leave your comments on what you know, especially if you know anything about this 425. There is little to no information about this bad boy out there. So I'd love to hear more about that. More about, is this the original? Like if you open up a Moon and Stars 280GX, does it look like that? These are things that I don't know. I know a little bit about Orion. I know more about PPI than I do Orion. So if just leave some information.